Fish and chips, an absolute classic. Everybody loves it, right?
I do. I've got to admit, I just love really good fish and chips.
I do, and for me, I love going to a chippy and getting fish and chips, but I really do love making it at home as well, because I can control it, right?
Yeah.
And you know me by now, I'm a little bit of a controlling, when it comes to food. So what I've got already is the chips, which I've blanched about 7 minutes in boiling water, ruffled them ever so slightly, and now I'm gonna fry them off about 190 degrees. For me, it ain't fish and chips without tartar sauce.
Oh, I agree.
And we're
Totally
gonna make
agree.
it from scratch.
I like it. Or
Yeah.
I'm going to make it from scratch.
Well, yeah, I've given you the recipe. Crack on. No, it's actually, to make mayonnaise at home, it's easier than you would think. It's literally egg yolks, mustard, a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice, and then oil, and it's just an emulsification.
That's what I find amazing, is that mustard is a natural emulsifier.
Yeah.
So it pulls together oil, anything that's water-loving and oil-loving together.
For the batter, I'm gonna do like a really simple beer batter, equal quantity recipe of rice flour and double O flour. And then basically we're just gonna loosen that with a good beer, whatever beer you want. You can use a nice lager, you could use something stronger if you wanted to, up to you. So the beautiful thing about doing a beer batter opposed to, adding water or another liquid is the yeast. The natural yeast will aerate your batter. You should end up with a lighter batter for it. And I'm gonna show you another little trick, which you don't have to do at home, but I'm gonna use a ISI gun, a whipping gun, at the very end to add even more air to my batter. And what that does is just make sure your fish stays super, super crispy for longer. I think I've tested it in the restaurants before, and it will stay crispy for about, 6 hours. Like super crisp. Stone cold, but still crispy. Okay, so now our batter's ready. So this is the chefy thing. Like I said, you don't have to do this. It will still be a beautiful batter at home without it. But if you've got it, use it for something like this.
So interesting, you're using a combination. So this is extra virgin olive oil I'm putting in now, but you've done a combination of oils.
Yes.
Because you know what I'm going to say. I always just use my extra virgin olive oil.
I know, but...
But I do use the light flavoured one.
Yeah,
Rather
and-
than the really robust ones when
and
I'm
that's
making
why.
a meal. Yeah.
It's olive oil is obviously a very prominent flavour. So if you do the whole thing with olive oil, it's an olive oil emulsion.
Yeah.
So if you try the ISI gun, I'm using 2 charges, and you can hear that just gas the whole thing. And then that's ready now. My first batch of chips is almost there as well. When people deep fry stuff, they put it on like kitchen paper or a chuck cloth. Don't. Put it on a rack so that you're actually getting rid of that hot oil. It's dripping away, and it stops it from going soggy. It should just sit there and crispen up even more. We're gonna flour the fish, and that's just to help the batter stick on it later. So I'm using a beautiful wild caught flathead. It's a great product, Joe. I love it. It's always in my freezer. So useful, portion control, no mess, no waste. Great, especially in a dish like this, cooks up beautifully.
Totally agree. And I always use flathead for when I'm
Yeah.
doing fish and chips. I think flathead works beautifully.
Works so well, right? So Joe's gonna finish up the tartar sauce by dicing up the shallots, dicing up the caper berries, the cornichons. We're gonna add in a little bit of parsley as well. I'm gonna coat the fish in the batter, fry that off, finish frying the chips, and then we'll plate up.
Beautiful batter,
Look at
right?
that.
Beautiful batter.
So crispy. You can just see the crunch.
Amazing.
Gorgeous batter. And like I said, even if you don't aerate it, it will still be a beautiful batter recipe. but aerating it just gives you that extra 10%. And that's what we look for as chefs, the small differences.
Because the fish and chips that I used to have as a kid growing up in Scotland was a bit greasy, to be honest. But the batter, I always used to pull the batter off because it was like more batter than fish. But that looks beautifully crunchy and a little bit lighter. I guess that's what aerating it is doing.
Absolutely. Aerating it just helps you keep that crisp. A little bit of salt.
I do like a bit of vinegar on my chips.
Do you know what? Me too. Me too. I love a bit of malt vinegar. It has to be
Malt
malt
vinegar.
Though. Has to be malt. And then some lemon.
Oh,
Look at that.
that looks gorgeous.
And then the tartar sauce that was lovingly made.
It was made with a lot of love.
But for me, like tartar sauce, a good tartar sauce makes a dish. A bad one, forget about it. There you go. For a fake away, it's not too bad, is it?
It's pretty good. It looks almost too good to eat, but I'm going to eat it.
Let's do it. Tuck in.
I feel like I should taste the fish first.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
With some, hang on. You need a little tartar sauce on it, don't you?
Oh, yes, please.
I mean, come on. We're not amateurs here. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Crispy batter. The batter's perfect. So people always think I'm going to tell you not to deep fry anything. But actually, if you have the oil at the right temperature, and if you have something that is not all that absorbent, like a batter's not, you're actually sealing and crisping out the outside. Obviously, if you
that
fry,
residue.
that's right. You know, obviously, if you fry something like bread or something that's really absorbent, you're going to get a lot of oil into it. But this, done properly, is beautifully right. And I tell you what, I am never going to buy tartar sauce again.
I know.
That's
Once
a winner.
you make it, it's just beautiful. There you go. Joe approved my healthy, deep fried Friday fish and chip takeaway.